let me just say this though, in terms of Umar's child support situation, on paper he's not making any money.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So when
that's all Republicans.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying he's not on paperwork. On paper, even though he's bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars, he's raised over $1.6 million. My best estimate though is $2.6 million. But in terms of IRS filings from 2019, 2021, 22, and 23, $1.6 million. He was raising money back in 2014, 15, 16, 17, and 18. We're not counting that, and we're not counting 2024 or 2025. The point that I'm making is that $2.7 million is my best estimate. And on paper, he's still listed as if he's not making any money. So the reason why this is relevant is because when child support they can't garnish wages because on paperwork, he's not working anywhere. So what they have to do is they have to take the minimum in the state of Pennsylvania, meaning what do they call that? The minimum wage.
Yep.
They take minimum wage as the standard to figure out how much child support he has to pay.
Right.
Meanwhile, he's raising millions of dollars at this point, and he's living with his mama on Section 8 housing. Okay, that's some bullshit. Real talk.
$3.50. Had to give you a 10. Nah, no gin today. I might come back and get some gin for the ancestors.
The school is completely done, and on Tuesday, because government is closed on Monday to celebrate white supremacy presidency. The government is closed on Monday to celebrate white supremacy presidency. But on Tuesday, I'll be contacting the city to request an inspection of the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Elementary School and Gym. Brothers and sisters, thank you for those of you who stood with me. Not the fakes and the phonies. Not those who act like you supported me but didn't trust me, didn't believe me. You listened to the struggle streamers and the scammers. You believed them.
Yeah, at this point, Umar, I don't think anybody gives a damn if your school ever opens. I don't think people trust you at all now. Not at all. I think the bus left. Elvis has left the building. James Brown is gone. Even MJ's in the upper room. Family, it's a wrap. I know it doesn't feel like it right now because you're able to record and we see you, but you are a ghost. Yeah, you no longer exist in the earthly realm. Your name no longer rings out as somebody who was, you're a shell of your former self. You are a ghost-like person. You're a zombie now. You're a walker. That's what it is, fam.
So content creator Tim Black isn't holding back on Umar Johnson, and he's going after Umar Johnson and his tax-exempt crack houses over there in Wilmington, Delaware, called FDMG. Now, if you guys don't know who Umar Johnson is, I talked about him on the channel before. He's pretty much a scammer who goes around, and he also have these tax-exempt properties in Wilmington, Delaware. Now, they've been tax-exempt for 7 years, even though nothing has happened in those 7 years since he has received tax exemption. He's not helping anybody. He's not helping any school. These tax exemptions are pretty much just a way for him to funnel money to his own bank account to fund his own living. Now, you guys have to remember that Umar Johnson is unemployed, and he drives around all day in a rental car while traveling around the world, traveling around country to country, state to state. Now, just think about that. What unemployed person do you know can just travel country to country, state to state? But when you have a tax exempt and a nonprofit that you're scamming people out of, and you're saying that you're building a school, he's been saying that he's been building a school for now since 2010. There is no school. Just like he collected money for that movie, and there's no movie. But let's let Tim Black continue on, and then I'm going to get back into my commentary.
You took people on a journey of excuses and stories and nonsense. And you're a sham wow. Dude, it's pathetic, man, what's happened. I'm just going to be real with you, fam. You say people were lame because they didn't trust you. No one should trust anyone. Trust is earned. What'd you ever do to earn people's trust? People ask you about money they gave your ass, and you get mad. People give you money and then say, hey, we gave you money 5 years ago. What up? And you would get mad and attack them for asking what you did with their money.
And Tim is 100% right on that. Now, Umar Johnson, he went on Jamar's podcast and said the buildings were in excellent condition. That was all cap. Then he hit the Breakfast Club multiple times saying that the school was basically finished. Right when he needed more donations, that's when he's going onto all these platforms saying, donate to my school because we're basically at the finish line. But he's been basically at the finish line for damn near, 6 years now. So let's stop dancing around it. You don't say excellent condition and almost done unless you're trying to keep the cash coming in. 9 years to buy it, 7 years to renovate it, still nothing finished. Who's over the accounting? Umar. Who's over the renovation project management? Umar. Who kept promoting this false school, this crack house in Wilmington, Delaware named FDMG? Umar Johnson. So where's his team? Where's his staff? There is no one but Umar Johnson. However, when it was time for the money to be accounted for, when 40 of his clients, 40 of his donors came at him in December, which led to this recent mediation that Umar Johnson had to do, Umar Johnson went and got a lawyer. So the only time you see him with a professional is when he gets a lawyer on his donors. Please get this right. You're an army of one on multiple platforms and telling everybody to trust you. But yet you haven't shown anything done at that school. Now I want you guys to look at these videos of Umar Johnson lying to people's faces with a straight face on the Breakfast Club and on Lord Jamar, talking about the school was in excellent shape and that he was pretty much at the finish line. And I'm also going to put the years in which he said this stuff.
First of all, the buildings are in excellent shape. Excellent shape. We just got an offer for one of the buildings over more than $1 million. That sound like trash to you?
Building right now, right? If you were to say, how soon can that building be ready? It can be ready in 3 weeks. We only have 3 weeks worth of repairs, 3 weeks worth of HVAC, 3 weeks worth of electric, 3 weeks. So what's been going on the past 3.5 years? Getting contractors who you can trust to help you with it. And contractors were not kind to us, man. They ripped us off. They scammed us. They stole out the building. The con is real. The con and contractor
I've been dealing with it for the last 5 years.
is very real, brother.
Absolutely.
And then finally, we had our second FDMG festival this past September the 10th. And I said, you know what? We may have to step outside the African-American community to get this done because we've been waiting 3 years for our people to help us, not for free. We could afford to pay them, but they wasn't being honest with us and straight up. And of course, we know that's not all of our contractors. We want to be clear. We've met a lot of decent contractors along the way, but the ones who we had to use because they was licensed and certified where we are, they didn't really do us right. So I said, let's go with some white folks. And guess what? Here we are 90 days later, and the white contractors have gotten us to the finish line in 3 months versus 3 years waiting on us.
So he was on the Breakfast Club saying that the schools were finishing up twice, once in 2021 and then back again in 2023. But before that, he was on the Lord Jamar show talking about the buildings were in excellent shape. I mean, this is after years of donation, after years of almost there, after years of we're close. Now, pay attention to the pattern. The Breakfast Club has given platforms to people who later face serious legal issues. They don't vet these people. I mean, from real estate controversies, like what we see with what's his name, Cesar Pena, the real estate guy, Jay Morrison, the Tulsa Fund guy. We seen they had Brother Polite up there, and Brother Polite turned out to be a child predator who's now in prison. And we see Umar Johnson up there, who runs this tax fraud business so that he can stay unemployed and travel the country, go country to country, keep in that rental car, go state to state. This is what Umar Johnson does. You know what Umar Johnson really did in 2025? He went to Switzerland, a white country. He went to Ghana. He went to Brazil. He went to Africa. And there are so many other countries that he went to. But you know where he wasn't? He wasn't at FDMG. Come on, you guys. We all know that traveling costs money. Hotels cost money. Eating out, dining. So how can an unemployed man who podcasts all day afford all these expenses? Just think about it. So let's run this back. In 2023, he said the school was completed. 2021, he said he only needed 3 more weeks. On Lord Jamar's show, he said that the buildings were in excellent shape. Okay, what happened? Where's the finished product? Where's the ribbon cutting? Where's the accountability? I mean, just listen to what he says. Now, I want you guys to listen up to a little bit more what Tim had to say, and I'm going to get back into a little bit more about Umar Johnson.
You're a diabolical, scheming, scam artist, train wreck, in my opinion. That's what you are. This is just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't want to invest 20 cents in finding out. I will not spend a quarter to find out because you dug the hole. Now you dig yourself out of it. Go help black kids. Go help little boys. Go help these little black boys that need this help. Don't ask for another dollar. Get out and work. Get out and grind. You could have wrote a book a month. What else are you doing? What else are you possibly doing, dog? What else you got? No, seriously, fam. What else have you got to do? What else? Nothing. You know, as long as I've been doing content, you've been doing this content. And what have you done with that? What have you done? I finished the school. I told y'all, 7 years, dog. 7 years.
That's all facts. And let's not forget that he started collecting money in 2010, didn't buy the school until 2019. That's a 9 years of just to purchase a school. And then it's been 7 years of renovation. So we're talking about 16 years total, and he's still not done. Meanwhile, King Randall brought the school and renovated his school in 2 years. No excuses, just results. You know what? Y'all can catch this whole Tim Black segment right here. I'm going to link it in the description. It's going to be the first thing in the description if you guys want to go watch this video yourself. But other than that, thanks for watching. And people, watch out for scammers like Umar Johnson in the crack houses that hunt Wilmington, Delaware.